Hello, everyone. I am Sarah Simon. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I am coming to you from a rainy and chilly Appleton, Wisconsin. Oh my gosh, I got home tonight and I thought I need to turn my heat back on. I didn't. I just put more clothes on. But it is a little chilly, but holy cow, we needed the rain so bad. My lawn is so happy today because it's finally getting some water. Anyway, I am so excited that you are with me tonight. Looks like we've got some people who've jumped on. I don't see any comments, so I hope I didn't mess anything up when I was setting it up. There was a couple of settings that I wasn't sure what I was supposed to click. I kept it the same as what I had. So if you are on here, if you've jumped on, see if you can leave a comment because it looks like I have quite a couple people on already. But I don't have, maybe I don't have my live chat turned on. There we go. There's Sarah. Hi, Sarah. All right, here, I got to do this. I got to turn my live chat on. There we go. Now I can see people. Hello, Betty. I'm so glad that you guys joined me. You know what happened last week is I got done with my Facebook or my YouTube live, and I'm like, I never showed them the swaps that I said I was going to show you from my team. So I have them sitting out. And so I think I'm going to do it once I turn my camera around. I'll do that first before I do any before I make any of my cards so that you can for sure see those. Couple of announcements before I get to, oh, I don't have my like little wireless mouse here. So a couple of announcements, just a reminder that we do have a designer series paper sale going on right now. Almost all of the regular designer series paper in the annual catalog is currently 15% off. We also have our starter kit special right now, where if you would like to be a discount shopper, receive a discount on everything that you purchase, you can do the startup kit, pay $99, get to pick $155 worth of products for that $99, pay absolutely no shipping on it. Now, there isn't an obligation after that for you. However, if you would like to keep that discount, we do have like some sales minimums to keep active. But it really is a great way to get a discount on everything that you purchase. Um, I ended up years and years ago, gosh, I've been a demonstrator, I think, for 12 years. I'd have to look that up for sure. But I just joined so I could get the discount. I was spending that much at Archivers and Michaels and everywhere else. I was going Hobby Lobby, and I was like, this is crazy. And all the colors match, and so I could get colors, and I didn't have to worry about going and getting more stuff. So I found for me it was more beneficial, and it wasn't until years after that that I started doing classes and stuff. And I really, there's a lot of people that I stamp with that don't do classes at all. They're just hobby demonstrators and they like the discount. So you do get some perks for me if you join my team as well. You get to join my classes um, at no cost. And you also, anytime I have a promotion for a free PDF, you get that for free without having to place an order from me. So Betty, how did the sale go? Well, it was awesome. I had a lot of people stop in. Like there was no parking in my neighborhood. When people came in, I'm like, how far did you have to walk to get here? So there were a lot of people in my house. My dog Lila was loving it, but hating it because I made her stay on a leash and she wanted to greet everyone. And then at Kathy's, we had a lot of people come through as well. I think we had record sales this year. So it was awesome. Now I have to figure out what I want to do with all my stuff that I have left. So some of it I'll keep and I'll put it out next year. Others of it, Kathy and I were talking, she knows of a place in Sheboygan, Wisconsin, where it's kind of like a Goodwill or St. Vincent de Paul, where you can donate there and then they turn around and sell these crafting products. They have yarn and material and like stamps and all that kind of stuff. They sell it, and then the money that they make, they put back in the community as like a fundraiser type thing to help the community. So we thought, Kathy and I were talking. I said, well, maybe we could go down together. We could find a fun place to go to lunch along Lake Michigan and just make a girls' day of it. So we've been kind of talking a little bit about that. So, but thank you for asking, Betty. Yeah, it was awesome. And thank you to all of you who came and supported the sale. I do have some happy mail before I get prizes, and then we get to making our cards. Hello, Amanda Shabo. Look at this beautiful card. I saw Sarah on there because she said hello to me. This was a thank you note that Sarah sent to me. She won one of my drawings, and she's a teacher. And that's what another benefit, really, of being a demonstrator. They have these fun events that anybody can go to. You don't have to be a business person to go to it. And you get to meet demonstrators from all over. So I met Sarah at an event in Minneapolis, and she's from Minneapolis. And we sat at the same table, and we were talking because she was a teacher and I was a teacher. We both had Sarah spelled with an H, and we've just kind of connected on Facebook, and we've only met in person that one time, but we know quite a bit about each other just from that day. And you get to meet really cool people that way too. Look at this beautiful card with the hydrangea. This I received from one of my customers, Stephanie, and her husband, and their little baby girl, because I'd gotten them a baby gift. And then I received this beautiful card from Tammy Lidsky. I got to see Tammy at the sale this weekend, and she was thanking me for a prize that she won. This is her envelope. And then look at this beauty. This is one of the storybook folds. Look at that fun paper. This is from Michelle. I think it's from Michelle Jones. Yes, she won a prize. And she says, keep inspiring us all. I love inspiring you. Um, then I received this one, and I'm going to read some of this one. Look at this beautiful card with these butterflies. This comes off here. And then this opens up. Look at that. Oops, there's some gift cards in there I forgot to take off. I took one of them off. I didn't actually see the other ones. Holy cow, Mary. Thank you very much. But her little thing said, Dear Sarah, I can't thank you enough for all you've done for me and given me. I appreciate all the prizes and gifts as well as the card groups on Wednesday evenings that were free of charge because she's on my team. I really enjoyed these evenings and meeting other stampers. Mostly enjoyed getting to know you. The card swap was fun, and I hope we can do it again. Have a wonderful summer. Be sure to take time for yourself. With love, Mary. And at the top it says, there's so much about you that lets others see God's goodness and love shining through. And that's why this thank you is really a prayer that his blessings will shine upon you. Thank you, and God bless you. And look at, you put even a little butterfly on there. Isn't that cute? I just love this card. So great. Thank you, Mary. Beautiful cards, ladies. I just absolutely loved them all. So thank you so much for taking time to send them. All right, prizes. So last week we made a couple of fun folds, actually 3 fun folds, all masculine cards. So the first one, a lot of people said they hadn't seen this one before, where it's a little tuck gate fold and then it stands up like this. I ended up giving the other card that I made like this to my brother for his birthday. He just sent me a text today and said thank you. He loved the card and he loved the gift that I got him. We also, made this Joy Fold card. So if you have somebody who's not really into drinking and old fashions, we've got this little card, classic card that was a Father's Day card. And then if you're not into that, we had a fishing one. And this was one of them that was a fun fold that pulled out like this. And we made this one into a retirement card. So receiving these for commenting, and again, I look at the live chat. So all of you who have commented so far, your names are going to get put into a drawing. I look at the one for all of the people who watch it afterwards because that's in a different list for me. And then I look at my Facebook page as well. And so receiving these cards for commenting last week, where's my slip? Oh, is Debbie Peters. Debbie, congratulations. I will get these off in the mail. And Kelly, if you are on here, Kelly Perpich, I did not get yours out in the mail because I thought maybe I might see you at the sale, either at Kathy's or at my house. I wasn't sure because you're somewhat local. So I have it now and it'll be going out with these. All right, I'm going to set these here. I kind of have a clean cupboard. There's a little bit of stuff here now, but not too bad. Then for sharing, so if you share here, share on Facebook, make sure you write down in the comments that you shared, because then you get put into a drawing as well. So receiving some of these adhesive back sequins trio, it has some like little, they're not really iridescent. I don't even know how to describe, kind of pearlized little sequins. And then these are they look like they are pretty peacock. And then these pink ones that we're going to be using tonight in one of our cards. Hello, Sharon. Um, these are going to, oh my gosh, Michelle Jones, you won again. I didn't even realize that. I just gotten a thank you card for you. I will be putting these in the mail to you. It is completely random, and I don't take people's names out if they've won before because I can't keep track of who won and what orders. It's whatever the computer comes up with for a name, that's who ends up winning. So I guess the more that you end up doing, like sharing and things like that, the more opportunities you have to win each week. Um, I know that there's a lot of Kelly's team that's in a team meeting right now. I was asked to do a demonstration in that meeting, but because I had my Facebook or my YouTube live at the same time, somebody else on the team is going to do the card that I made, and I sent her a video and all the dimensions and things like that. So she's going to be making it for the team. So I'm here with all of you and missing that, but I will catch it afterwards because I can see the replay. All right, let me choose my other camera. We'll flip here. Oh, good. I thought, oh my gosh, am I sideways? I wanted to share those swap cards of my team members because I didn't want to forget them. So last week I forgot them. This was made by one of my team members. Her name is Sandy Calloway. And look at this. Okay, it's got a little panel that says for a feel better kind of day. But this stands up like this. Isn't that so cool? I have not seen this card before. It looks like you need a couple of pieces of paper that you glue together because this is really long. But it just kind of folds up like this to go into your envelope, which she also decorated. Beautiful job, Sandy. This fun little guy with some of that designer paper that was part of the last holiday catalog, the Dandy Design. I think it was actually a celebration one. Look at how cute that is. And there's Wink of Stella in here, some little flowers on the inside. This one was created by Diane Van Grell. Isn't that cute? She's on my team as well. And then I love this. Look at how bright and cheery this is. This is some of the trim it's retired, but look at how cool that is. We've got our little piñata and look at the inside. So holy guacamole, it's your birthday. Spectacular. And then look at the little cactus with the little sombrero on the outside. This is Karen Roofing on my team did this. All right. And then you just saw Mary's card that she made for me. This was the card she made in the swap. Look at how many things she die cut there. Look at all of these daisies and all of these petals and these little sprigs and the basket. Holy cow. She'd make 5 of these. And then the radiating dies and then some of that DSP on the inside. And she too decorated the envelope for everyone. Aren't these cards awesome? And then this I completely copied from Tammy White. I'm not going to try to pass it off as my own. I thought it was really cute and I wanted to try to make it. So I made it for all my team members. Thank you to all of you who are saying that you shared, Kay and Sharon and Diane. And then when you open it up, it says Happy Father's Day. I think this might be my dad's Father's Day gift. I thought it was kind of cute. He's not a big fisherman, but I think he'd still kind of think this is cool. It's either that or I'll give it to my brother-in-law because he loves to fish. So those were my team swaps that I forgot to share with you last week. I did get all my swaps back from that big swap that I was in. I'm going to show you a couple of them tonight when they come to cards, but some of them I'm going to be using for classes coming up. That's why I love to swap. So, all right. Our first card, and I'm going to go turn my overhead light off. It helps a little bit with shadows. I know I'm going to get a glare on this from my light, but it still helps a little bit with the shadows. So for our first card, we are going to be using this delightfully eclectic paper. I love this paper. It's 48 sheets, and um, so there's these patterns on the back as well. They match really nicely with some of the stamp sets. So this one could go with the Daisy stamp set. We have a stamp set that has a pretzel in it. We have the Inkton tile that has the punch that looks like that, the little X's. We have the Inkton tile that has a punch that looks like that. I'm going to show you how you can use that together with this card. There are just these little strawberries go really nicely with the lemonade set, and you could make it look like strawberry lemonade. Hi, Mary. I was showing them your beautiful cards. It's okay that you're late. Everybody was oohing and awing over your cards. So this is the paper we're going to be using in this. Then I'm going to be using one of those standalone dies. Remember I said there's some hidden gems in the catalog? They are things that don't go with a bundle, so sometimes they get missed because all they are done is they're mixed in with the rest of the cards. These two dies are little patchwork pieces that you can put together with either designer paper or you can just do cardstock, and you can cut a bunch of them and make some different designs. And so we are going to be using these tonight to make our first card. And I don't have I don't even have a SIP card this time. I thought I did, but I do not. I was kind of like, hustling to get home tonight because I still had to design one card. I knew what I wanted to do, but I hadn't made it yet. I'm going to keep this one up. This is the die we're going to use. So the size paper that you need to cut these, and so what I'm going to use, you need 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. Okay, so I have a bubble bath that's that size, and I have this pattern. And all that I did, and I did this already, so through the magic of TV, this is done. I just lined this up and ran it through my Big Shot. Okay, what I did was after that was I took the die off and I left those pieces there on my Big Shot in that order. Then I took this one and I set it down and I ran that one through the Big Shot and I pulled the piece off and I had my 2 pieces here on my plate and I brought my plate over to my workstation. And because I'm going to alternate these every other one once they're cut, in case you're going to have 12 pieces for each, I wanted to keep them in order so that I didn't have a problem figuring out the order when I put them together. I made one card, and what I did was I took these apart, but what I did before I did that is I ended up numbering them on the back. So all of my pinks are going to be odd numbers, and all of my designer paper is going to be even. So I know what order to put them in, and I know where I'm starting. So you could also do that as well if you end up making one day and you have to mix them up or something, and then you make the other one the next day, which is what I was doing. I made this one one of these last night, and now I have this left over for my next card. Okay, we are going to use Bubble Bath as our card base, and this is 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, and it's scored at 4 1/4. Okay, and it looks like my comments are not flowing on my iPad, but they are on my, unless I'm just down further. Let me just look here. Sorry, ladies, or everyone. Looks like Sharon was my last. Yes, Kathy Miller, great cards for my team. I have a fun little announcement to share with you about Kathy Miller, but I'll say that a little bit later in the show tonight. Kathy, I thought you'd be at the team meeting. Maybe you're watching both of us. That's probably what I would be doing too if you were on and there was a team meeting. Okay, Bubble Bath, 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. That was a really big squirrel moment. This is 4 by 5 1/4, and that's going to be for the inside of my card. I have a little piece for my envelope. I'm going to build my patchwork on a piece of this garden green, which is 3¼ by 4¾ So I had 3 pieces that measured this bubble bath, this designer paper, and then the color that I'm going to be building it on. All right, I have a piece that I'm going to layer that on. That's 3�3/8 by 4�7/8. I have a 1/2 inch wide little strip that we're going to stamp a greeting. And this is a 1/2 inch by 4 inches, and that's going to be for the inside layer. I also have a strip of this paper because I'm going to show you how we can use those punches to use some of the things that are right in this designer paper. It fits. Okay, so what we need to stamp is this little strip in our inside layer only. So let's stamp first, and then we will put together. I have a big mess on. Oh, Kathy, you're just watching me. Thank you. I feel really, really special. All right. So I'm going to attach this little strip here. But before I do that, I'm going to stamp on this because if I mess up, I can always flip it over. All right. So on the inside, this is going to be a thank you card. I'm going to put "You are so kind." And I'm going to do that in the garden green. All right, that looks pretty good. And then in the bubble bath, I'm going to stamp a floral image from the, oh gosh, Regency Park, I think is called the suite. And I'm going to do that in full strength bubble bath. And then I'm going to take the inside piece. I got to get the right direction here. Let me look here. This way. I'm going to stamp it off once. Ooh, this is really hard to line up with. I didn't do a very good job. Oh, I did do actually a pretty good job. Okay, so that flower I thought kind of matched these flowers that are down here, or that are down here. All right, I'm going to close these up because I do not need these ink pads anymore. And I'm going to take this strip and using some Versamark ink, and I'm going to take my pad here. This is from, what is the name of that set? Let me look here real quick what the name of the set is. It is called Timeless Arrangements. There is a thank you in there, and that's where this came from as well, the Timeless Arrangements. I am going to stamp this thank you in Versamark. And then I'm going to use white embossing powder. I kept this out because I need white embossing powder for 2 cards today. Okay, so I've got the thank you on there. I'm going to set this aside and heat emboss it because I actually have one done for you through the magic of TV. So I'm going to set that aside for right now. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do some punching so that we can just go ahead and put our card together. Set this off to the side. So we have 2 different punches in this inked and tiled. One of them looks like an X. The other one looks kind of like a star, like 2 squares overlapping. This one will punch out perfectly that image from the designer paper. All right, so there's that one. And then this other punch will cut out that little X. So there's one of them. And there's the other one. Now you could do it on bubble bath if you want, but I don't know if you can see it on here, but there's like some little, almost looks like grid paper of some sort on here. So makes it look like it has a little bit of texture. So that's why I chose to do that rather than just a piece of bubble bath. I'm also going to bring in my banner Pick-a-Punch. I'm going to trim this a little, and then I'm going to put it in here, and I'm going to use this one that's going to make it pointed rather than a banner or the flag. Hopefully I should have turned and looked to make sure I was in there straight, because now I'm not able to get this out. There we go. Oh, I did a pretty good job. Okay, so there's my thank you with the little banner on the end of it. All right, so that is that. And I think we're ready to put this card together. So I'm going to start by, let's do our inside because that's easy. The whole card is not really that difficult. It's just a matter of putting those pieces together from that die cut. So I'm just going to add a little piece of that designer paper for the inside of my card. And I do have to type these up yet and put them on my blog. Thank you for all of you who commented on the rebranding of my business. There was someone that I worked with this year. She was teaching at our middle school, and she does this on the side, and she's got 2 little kids, and she does such a nice job. And her turnaround is really fast. She doesn't have a lot of overhead because she just does it as like a side business, and she just does wonderful work. And she got everything back to me so fast and stuff that I was really pleased with the work that she did. Okay, so these I wrote on the back. So here's my number 1, and that is going to start in the corner like that. And I'm just kind of guessing on the size of the border that I need based on like practicing last night. This is the first time that I used this die. And I really didn't know what to expect. I have to say that I haven't seen many demonstrators do videos with it. So I wasn't sure. You know, sometimes you watch them and they give you some, oh, by the way, you should probably do this with this die. I didn't see any of those. So I was kind of on my own to kind of attempt or try it out. Okay, so this one's going to go here. So numbering these, I thought worked pretty well so that I knew I was going to start in the upper left-hand corner, and that was going to be my number 1. I'm going to kind of stand up a little bit so I can see on top of here, make sure I'm keeping this straight. Here's number 3, and I wrote on the back so that I knew which way I had to flip it over as well. These all have little stitchings, which is kind of cool. And I'm gonna put that up there. And 1, 2, 3. So I'm gonna go look for number 4. Here's number 4. The only thing that I think maybe would have made this go a little bit faster if I didn't have to glue every one of these, and if I maybe had an adhesive. Oh, I got disconnected. Let's see if that works. There we go. Sorry, I don't know how long I was gone. I'm back. All right. I don't know if adhesive sheets on the back of this would have made it go better or not, because then I would have had to pull those off, where now I just have to add the glue. I just don't know if it would have kept these all together. I did easily pull off the die and everything stayed together, and I was able to cut the next one, which was really kind of cool that it worked that way. And I haven't tried the other one yet. I'm thinking I'm going to do that next. Let's try that one. I'm kind of watching my dies so that I know which way I have to put it as well. Okay, and then 7. You really don't need a ton of glue on this. You do want to keep it straight. Okay, it looks like I could have had a little bit, I maybe may cut this a little bit shorter than I was supposed to. It's the size that I cut it last night, and it worked pretty good last night. So I went with it, but maybe I was supposed to cut it just a tad bit bigger because it looks like I'm barely going to have some green showing here. Now, you could, if you wanted to, just layer this, like cut all the way around this and just layer it on another green piece if you wanted to. That would work. That would probably work great. And maybe that's the best way to do it. Like I said, I haven't really seen other people work with this yet. So maybe trying to get your border so that it's even all the way around isn't the best thing to do. Maybe the best thing to do would be to, like I said, trim around it after you have, and we can try that. I can get another piece of green out. We can kind of play with this together. Last night, it kind of worked out really well for me. I had a pretty even amount all the way around. Tonight, not so much. It looks like I left a little bit too much up on the top. I think I probably laid it out better last night. Like I played around with it first and laid it out before I put anything down. And tonight I thought, well, I'm a pro at this. This went together really well last night. I'm just going to go ahead and put it down. Okay, the last piece should fit in there. Look at that. Look at how cool that is. All right, what I think I'm going to do, just to try it, is let's just go ahead and let's cut this little edge off. Again, I'm doing this for the first time, and I'm going to cut another piece of green so that I can center it. So I guess you could probably just do this on a piece of white scrap that you have that's about the right size, I guess, and cut it and then put it on the piece that you want. So let me get some garden green. I have it, just have to get it out of my, there we go. Now that was 3¼ by 4¾ if you remember correctly. If I 3¼ by 4¾ That way I can for sure get it centered on here. Oops. I'll put that away later. We'll need this in a little bit for another one of them. And then this will just layer. Look at that. It looks like it might have to be just a tad bit bigger than 4¾ when you cut it if you use this die. I just measured the outside of the die and I cut it everything at that width. Then I'm going to put that, look at all these Post-it notes I have here. These are going to be for my typing this up afterwards. Oh, you know what I was going to ask you? What do you think? We have this beautiful ribbon. Should I tie this ribbon around? Should I put a thing of ribbon? Or does that take away from that? I think it kind of takes away from that pinwheel. Let's just leave it. I didn't use it last night. And then after I got done with the card, I'm like, wonder if I should have added a little bit of ribbon on there. And so I brought it and put it in my thing tonight. But I think I'm just going to leave it the way it is because otherwise it kind of takes away from that pinwheel. All right, so I'm going to take these two pieces. I'm just going to put a dot of glue in the center. And then I'm going to set this down. Center that up. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this one, but I'm going to go in the areas. Whoops. Make sure that it dries before you move it. There we go. This one has to go in this opposite one. Look at that. And then we're going to throw some dimensionals on the back of this. Look at that fun paper on the back. It's like a notebook paper almost, which would go really well with the Gorgeously Made, which is the next stamp set that we're going to be using. Or Masterfully Made. I don't know. One of the stamp set I think is gorgeously made. I think the paper is masterfully made, or vice versa. Okay, that's going to go in the center there. And then we're going to raise this up down here. Let's see. I want to put a little bit of, ribbon there when I raise that up? Or does that take away from that pinwheel again? I think it might take away from it. Well, let's try it. We can always take it off, right? Let me know if you think you like the ribbon or if you think I should do without the ribbon. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just add a little bit of, here it is, seal to the back of this. Becky, you forgot again. That's where you can always go back and watch it. You want, oh, went black. Okay, good. I'm back again. So good. All right. Kind of catching up on comments. So I'll put this little ribbon here and put it down and see what you think. We can always take it off. Okay, so should I put it down there with that ribbon or should we not do the ribbon? Let me pull it up so you can see. So with the ribbon or, whoops, there's with the ribbon. Okay, you can kind of see that ribbon there a little bit. Here's without the ribbon. Should I add it or not? What do you think? Anyone have any opinion one way or another? Do you think I should add the ribbon on here? I'm going to go ahead and add this on to the front of the card already because I can put that on after. No ribbon, Amanda says. No ribbon, Kelly says. Okay. That's kind of how I did it last night. No ribbon, Kathy Miller says. So we're going to pull this off because that's kind of what I thought too. It takes away from the pinwheel, right? I kind of feel like this kind of goes along with that quilting card that we did just a couple weeks ago. I did that in one of my swaps. I'll go ahead and put this here. And there is our quick thank you note. You can get 2 of these from one pass through. Oops, we got a little dimensional there as a little gift to the person. Okay, so you are so kind. Thank you. All right, just love that. This is my favorite paper in that pack, really. I've used it on so many different cards. I used it on one of my cards in my card buffet. I think I've used it already as in one of the cards that I did here. Oh yeah, you know which one we did was the doily one with that happy birthday that we cut out. That was a die. We used it then as well. Now, there's old olive in here and there's garden green. So you could really go with whichever. I thought the garden green looked really nice with the bubble bath, but I looked on the back and there's actually old olive because I'm like, is it garden green or is it old olive? And it actually was both. So you could really go with either one depending on which shade of green you like better. So there is a quick and easy, and if you wanted to, I could take my Wink of Stella and we could add a little bit of glitter to these flowers that are here and make them sparkle a little bit. I know you can't see that, but I don't even think if I hold it up, you'd be able to see that little sparkle or anything. Okay, so there is our card number 1, and it features one of the dies from the patchwork dies. There's 2 of them. The other one is kind of a little fun swirly thing. I can't wait to try that too. There's just only so many hours in the day, right? So I got to play a little bit with this last night and I really enjoyed it. I'm going to set this aside so I can use this stuff and we'll clean up here a little bit and get some of this out of the way and set this aside. And I'll pull up card number 2. Card number 2, Masterfully Made is the name of the paper. Whoa, that's a really bad light shining on there. All right, so the paper is Masterfully Made. And I mentioned that I had to do this for a swap. I had to design 4 cards. Well, this is not really my style. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's beautiful. And the way they made it with tearing all of the different papers and stuff like that. But if I were to look through the catalog, this probably wouldn't be the first stamp set that I pull. So it was a little bit of a challenge for me, and I love a challenge sometimes. So it was good. Here are the stamps. The stamps are gorgeous. They're these kind of like little stems and this little type that looks like it's type worn. And I don't even know what that is supposed to be. If it's supposed to be like the edge like of your notebook page. I don't know what that was supposed to be, but I'll show you the cards that I made. This one we already did in one of my Facebook lives, and it was a fun fold. Okay, so we used that. This is Lost Lagoon and Pretty Peacock. I also made this one, which is a joy fold. Remember, my joy folds are a fold that I always come back to. I just love this paper, and I really wanted to pull out the Azure Afternoon that was in there, and that was in here too, so I could use this beautiful ribbon. And this is with Berry Burst and Azure Afternoon. And then the next one that I did, where is it? I had it in here. I know I did. We're going to make one of them, but there's a third one. 1, 2. I swear I just saw it. Oh, here it is. It fell out of my bucket. Okay, so this one just pieces a couple of the different designer series papers together. And then I just did a circle and another circle inside of it, a stitched circle with our stylish japes, and just used some of those rhinestones. And I don't know if you can see it, but I have a little vellum, one of the die cuts that are in there, just underneath there as well, is just a little texture. So those are 3 of the cards that I made with the set. And now we're going to make together the 4th one. So this one is using Night of Navy. I don't think I made this card. I'm pretty sure I didn't make this card. Oh, add some bling. Yes. Oh, for this last one? Yeah, I was going to add some bling. I didn't quite know where, like if I would just do it on like the pink one so that you could see it. I'll get some bling out before we leave and we can add some to that, Amanda. I'll keep going with this one and we'll come back to that one. That's a really good idea. All right, so this Night of Navy is 8.5 by 5.5, and I scored it at 4.25. I'm going to keep these sticky notes together so I can type this up later. I have 2 fresh freesia that are 4 by 5.25. I am so glad this color came back, and I love it with Night of Navy. I think it looks so sharp together. I'm using this pattern of the designer series paper, and this is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. Isn't that gorgeous? I don't know if you can see like the worn type that's on the back. It's so cool. Oh, thank you, Kathy. I wouldn't say I rocked it. They're not the best cards that I ever did, but considering I had no idea what to do with this stamp set, I was pretty pleased with how they came out. 3 7/8 by 5 1/8 is white for the inside. This one is 3 by 4.25, and we're going to do something fun with that. And then this is just a 1/2 inch by 4 inches, and that's going to be for the inside of our card. And it looks like I have 2 pieces like that. I must have forgot that I put one in there. So there you go. Sometimes I can't find them at all, and now I find 2 of them. So go figure. And I didn't have a lot of this paper left because I used it in 2 of the cards for a swap. And so this one, I'm not going to put on the envelope. We're just going to stamp something instead on the front of it. All right, we're going to take this and we're going to use the really, really cool dies. Oh, the other thing that I have is a scrap of this paper. And you can see that what I did with that is I used the label die or the little I'll show you what the die looks like. It looks like the paper is torn. Okay, so it looks like this, and it looks like it's torn on the sides. And I just cut out from here just so it gave it some texture. So it wasn't just the Berry Burst paper by itself. It was actually the designer paper that we're actually going to stamp on here in Versamark so that we can see it and then use white. The other thing that we're going to be doing is using, look at these dies. This is so cool. So this makes like a notebook paper with a little stitched edge at the end. So on the top, we're going to run this through there so that we get that little notebook paper. And then this piece that's in there makes it look like the paper was torn on the bottom, like you just ripped it. So you don't have to actually do tearing. If you're a person that doesn't like to do paper tearing, you can just put this die on here and it'll make it look like the paper is torn. So through the magic of TV, I have that done already. So I'm going to pull it out of my bag. So that's what that looks like. It looks like a little torn out notebook paper and that we tore the edge at the bottom. Aren't those cool dies? I loved the dies. Don't get me wrong. I love this set. I love the paper. It's just not really my style. So I didn't really know what to do with it. And so it's good to challenge yourself like that sometimes because using that pattern for my buffet. Pretty cool. Yeah, this is really, oh, I think Kathy, you were talking about that pink and green one. I love that. Okay, we are going to stamp on here and make it look like there's something that somebody had stamped on this little piece of notebook paper. So I'm going to put my Versamark aside. I'm going to start with my Fresh Freesia ink. And the stamp that I'm going to use for that is this one that looks like it's type. Now, there is a right way because you can see there's like a B and you can't really make out any of the words, but you can tell that the letters are correct. So I'm just going to take and I'm going to stamp this. I don't remember if I did it. I did do it full strength. Okay, I'm going to stamp it over here a little bit and I'm going to stamp it over there a little bit and I'm going to stamp it down here a little bit. Okay, just randomly, wherever. See, this is why this is not a really good stamp set for me because I never know if, did I put it in an okay spot? Does it look okay there? Should I moved it down? Does it look like it's in a pattern and it shouldn't be in a pattern? It should be more random. So those are the things that I struggle with and I question myself all the time when I use different stamp sets like this. So that's why I say it's not really my style because I like to have things kind of all lined up and stuff. All right, next we're going to use this big stamp and we're just going to put that right about there. Okay, isn't that pretty? Okay, so it goes over the top of some of the stuff that I already stamped. That's okay. And then I'm going to put the Night of Navy ink away so I don't put something in it. I'm going to bring out some Berry Burst. I'm loving that Berry Burst is back. I don't know about you guys, but I love Berry Burst. All right, we're going to go ahead and stamp it right about there. Okay, so it's just some random different fun stuff that's on the paper. You could also take some of the designer paper and you could cut it and you could stamp on that. It was really bright for the paper and had a lot of patterns. So I felt like I needed white or I needed something different than just doing it on the designer paper. All right, I have this little tag that we haven't done anything yet. And so I'm going to bring in one of the greetings, which you're a great friend is what it says. And I'm going to use some of our Versamark ink. Now, normally I would stamp this and then cut it so I could get it centered. This is not very centered. And I don't think the one that I have through the magic of TV is that great either. but you're a great friend. Heat emboss that. I'm going to set it by my other thing that has to be heat embossed so that I can make another card like that. I don't want it to go to waste. Through the magic of TV, here is that label. I just have to get it out of the bag. Okay, you're a great friend. And now we can put this all together. I didn't need this because I already had that cut, but that's what that was for. Oh, you know what? I have to quickly stamp my envelope because remember I said I didn't have a lot of that paper left to use on the back. So I'm going to instead do a little bit of this on the front of the envelope. So I'm going to keep it a little bit off to the left so that I have room to write the address. Okay, so there is the navy, and we'll put a little bit of the berry burst. I might just do the top part of that like that, and then the fresh freesia I think just adds something to it. So I'm just going to get a little bit of the fresh freesia. I should have done this when I had them open so you don't have to sit and watch me open and close these. Okay, so there's our envelope is all done. Now we are ready to put our card together, and I don't have to pull any more stamps out of the bucket. Okay, so our envelope will set aside. We are going to layer this designer paper on one of the fresh freesia. So these first two were not really any fun folds. They're using some different dies that are new in the new catalog. The last card that I'm going to do will be a fun fold. And I got a little inspiration from our Miss Kathy Miller for my last card. So thank goodness for Kathy. She gave me the inspiration I needed to finish it when I got home from work today. I'm like, I got to get this card done. And I was using the inked and tiled, and that was the set that she had for that swap that I was in. So, of course, I had to go, what did Miller do? What did Kathy Miller do? Because she'll give me some inspiration, and she did. So, I'm going to just take one of these. I don't need two of them. I'm just going to pop a little bit along the bottom here. And because this is pretty plain on the inside, it says you're a great friend. So I left it plain so that I can stamp a greeting when I go to use it. Do I want to say you're a great friend? Happy birthday, great friend. Do I want to say thinking of you? Do I want to say thank you? If I put the greeting in now, then I'm stuck with that. Where if I don't put the greeting in, I can add the greeting when I need a card, and I can get the greeting that I need at that time. All right, next we're going to put this on the inside. So far, just like really basic layers. Can you see why this is hard? Because like tearing paper and stuff like that, oh, I'm so bad at that. So thankfully we have this nice little die that does that for us. Okay, now I am going to put this down with regular glue because we're going to take and make this stand up, and we're going to put some ribbon behind it, and we're going to put some gems. So since we already have 3 layers here, this is layer 4. This is going to be layer 5 on top of that. I just felt like if I put this on dimensionals and put that on dimensionals, it's just going to get to be too much, and I don't want to have to keep paying extra postage. With the ribbon, I might still have to pay a little extra postage, but we'll see. Okay, so I'm going to put this kind of on the side rather than straight. So again, that's a little bit out of my wheelhouse. I know some of you feel the same way because when I've done stuff kind of on the side like that. Some of you have said, I would have probably done that straight. And that's my first intuition as well. Look at this beautiful navy paper or ribbon. This is ribbon, Sarah. Let me use my ribbon scissors. Okay. I am going to do what I did on that last one, where I'm just going to take a little bit of seal. Kathy showed me how to do this because I struggle with this. I still don't do this very well, I don't think. But I'm just going to start with attaching that and then figuring out how far I want it to loop. So if I want it to be about that big of a loop, I'll go ahead and press that down there. And then I'm going to loop it back and go there, and then just go ahead and trim that where I want it. Okay, and then on the back of this, I'm going to put dimensionals. And I am actually going to put it right over the ribbon because it kind of just holds it in place as well. All right, and we'll take off the backs. And oh, I covered up my bucket with my ribbon bow maker. I must have had that out the other day. And then this I'm just going to set down there. And then those gems that I forgot who won today. I got a notepad here. Oh, Michelle Jones won them. We're going to take those out and we're going to add some of those to this card. So I'm going to go ahead and use the pink, and we'll get one of the bigger ones up here in some white space, and one of the other size up there in some white space. And we can either do a big one or we can do a small one. It doesn't really matter down here where we've got a little bit of white space. All right, so there is our card. You're a great friend. Using and we've got our little envelope that goes with it. I have a little bit of glue there. All right, so our envelope matches, and we've got a card ready to go out to a friend for whatever occasion we decide we want to make it for. I left that completely blank for you. I'm going to bring that last card back. I'm going to quickly run to the back and grab some gems. Amanda's great suggestion. Let's see. We've got some pink, so I think we'll go ahead, or we could use these ones that I just had. How about if we use these white ones? Let's use that. We'll put some white on there instead of the pink. Pink might be a little bit overload, so we'll just go ahead and we'll add one there. Then it's not overload, it's just kind of, ooh, that's kind of, kind of catches your eye. Let's put one there and up there. Okay, so we've got some of our little gems there to add a little bit to that card. Good idea, Amanda. Thank you. All right, that is our card number 2. And now for our fun fold. I'll show you my inspiration for this. All right, so Kathy Miller had the inked and tiled sets. Okay, I'm going to share my news, Kathy Miller, with them. So while we were together this weekend, I told her how much all of you miss her doing her lives, because several of you have asked if Kathy is still stamping because you really, really miss her. And Kathy's like, the technology I can't do it. So she is going to be my guest stamper, and we're going to see how it goes. We may get something going. We don't know. We're going to try it after she gets back from vacation. So that's something for you guys. I have vacation next week, so I won't be live next week. And she has vacation after that. So sometime after the 4th of July, we are going to try to do our YouTube live together. So you will get to see some of her creativity. But look at this beautiful card that she made. I loved that right there. So when I came home and I was really, really, really struggling with what to do on my card, I pulled hers out and I'm like, that's it. Kathy, that's it. You just saved me. So we're going to be using the same thing that she did right here with the card that we're going to be making. We're going to make it into a fun fold. And I do need to bring my trimmer because I wanted to show you how to cut for this fun fold and how to score. Because I know that some people are like, if you just cut it and you score it, then we don't really see how we're supposed to do it. So you're going to start with an 8.5. I've got all the directions written here. This is 8.5 by 11. Okay, and this will make us 2 cards. All right. So it says that we have to mark at 5.5 inches from the on the 8.5-inch side on the top and the bottom from opposite ends. Okay, so I'm going to take a pencil. You could also use your little scoring tool and just make like a little mark there. But I'm going to, on the 8.5-inch side, I'm going to go to 5.5 inches. I'm going to put this down and I'm just going to put, well, I don't even have to put it down. I'm just going to put like a little pencil mark right there. I'm making it a little bigger than I normally would so that you'll be able to see it. On the other side, I have to go from the opposite end. So I went from this end to 5.5. Now I have to go from the opposite end at 5.5. And I have to make a little mark. Now what I'm going to do is with my cutting tool, I'm going to put that little mark in my track, and I'm going to put that little mark in my track, and I'm going to cut that on a diagonal. Okay, so here's one of the marks, and it's in that little track that's right there. I've got some paper in there, crazy. And here's the other one, and I'm going to cut it. Okay, I have 2 cards that I can use. I'm going to just take one of them for right now, and I'm going to set the other one aside, and I'll make another card like this. I might change some of the designer paper. Okay, so cut diagonally from each of the marks. Now, with the shortest section on the left, so here's my shortest section, right? This is taller, this is shorter. So I need to put a new cutting blade in. I'm getting there. So with this on the left, I'm going to score at 3 inches and at 6 3/4. And open that up. That's why it was opened up on my thing, because I had just done that. So 6 3/4. That's our card base. That's all we need for our card base. Okay, how this is going to fold is this one's going to fold back. This one is going to fold in like it's a Z fold, and we've kind of got them at different angles. Kind of like the one that Mary did, where it was like at different angles. Hers was a little bit taller, and hers, I think, lined up better. This it's kind of offset a little bit. There's a little bit here, and there's a little bit there. Okay, so that is our fun fold. Now, we're going to be using some of the inked and tiled paper, and we're going to be using 3 different patterns, and then we also have a very vanilla layer. I have a scrap here too. We have a very vanilla layer that we're going to use. So for our back section back here, we're using 4 by 5 1/4. So that's going to go back there. For this front section, we're going to use this pattern with the florals. And then for the front, one of the other colors that's in there is that crushed curry. So we're going to use this crushed curry. Okay, so those are the color patterns that I pulled out. This was Lost Lagoon, by the way, the paper. I don't see my circle. I might have to go and cut another circle because I don't see the circle that I had cut. I definitely cut 2, one for the one that I made and one for this, but I don't see it in here. So I'm going to show you how to trim this paper so that it is at the correct angle that you need. Okay, so I do have, these 2 are exactly the same. One's going to be for the inside, one's going to be for the outside. All right, so what you need to do is you need to center it horizontally. So that's centered about horizontally. So there's an even amount on the left and on the right. And then you want this tip to be up to the top of the highest part. Okay, so once it's centered, right to left, I want my tip to be up at the highest point. I'm going to flip it over, going to take my paper snip, and I'm just going to cut along the edge of the card. Now when I slide it down, I'm going to have this exactly where I need it to be. Okay, and I can go ahead and I can put that down right away if I want. Ooh, look at that fun paper on the back. This paper is really pretty. I didn't put it on my Facebook page, but they did have a video. If you look at Stampin' Up, if you go to their website or I don't know where it was posted, maybe their YouTube channel, they show how this paper was made. So they basically, for some of it, they took flowers and they dipped them in paint and then they put it on the canvas. And what it looked like is this is what basically what it looked like is it's just like the little patterns of the flower images dipped in paint. Kind of cool, right? All right, so again, center it right and left so that it's right. And then now my highest point is over on this side. So I want the left tip to be over there. You got to make sure your pattern's going in the right way when you do this. Okay, if I have it centered right and left, now I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to trim this. Okay, and now I can put glue on the back of this. And put that down. Isn't that pretty easy so that you can line that up? Yes, Betty, Kathy and I will make a great team. We will have fun together. We work really well together. Again, centering it left and right, putting the tip up to the top. So now it's on this side again because the highest point is over on this side. And when I have it centered, flipping it over and trimming. All right, and then this will go on the front. Look at that. Like, see, that's those floral, the flowers that were dipped in paint. All right, isn't that cool? Doesn't it look cool already? And you saw what Kathy did to the front of hers. I showed you that. That's kind of what we're going to do to the front of this one. But we still have to cut this one. Again, we're going to line this up center. Tip is at the highest point. Get it centered right and left as best you can. Just eyeball it. Get it straight. And when you have it straight, flip it over and trim. And we're going to stamp this, so I'm not going to glue this one down until I have it stamped, just in case I make a little mistake, you know. All right, so that's going to go right there, and that's going to have a greeting on it. All right, let's go ahead and on my scrap, I am going to use our new 2 3/8 inch punch, and I'm going to punch out a circle. So again, this is, I'm going off of what Kathy did. Look at how beautiful that is. Hers is in white, mine's in very vanilla. Okay, so because this was more very vanilla, so I had to do that. All right, and then we're going to stamp some things on here. So I'm going to start by taking this really big stamp. Oh, and I have to clean this. I don't have a chamois sitting here. I didn't clean it after I did my sample before. Shame on me. I don't want to. All right. I'm going to go ahead and tap this on my pants to get, there was some bubbles from the baby wipe there. This is why you do it on a chamois. You don't have little bubbles from the. Okay. I am going to, this I want to be crushed curry. So I'm going to cover up this with just a Post-it note. And I'm going to take my crushed curry and stamp that there. Then remove your Post-it note because you don't want to get that ink. Now, you really don't have to do this, but for me, it was the easiest way to do it so I didn't get stuff, I didn't get ink inside of ink. All right, I'm going to get another Post-it note because I don't want, I'm going to cover up the crushed curry now. And I'm going to do the next one with some Calypso Coral. Okay, throw that away. I don't know where my stamping paper went. Here it is in the last bucket. I just don't want to get it on my surface if I have more here than I need. Okay, see, I did get some on there. Okay, and then we have another stamp, which is this one. And this I'm going to do in crushed curry, and I'm just going to be careful and get it at the top. Whoops, I wasn't very careful. Let's see. Let's get the whole thing on. There we go. And we are going to fussy cut those out in a little bit. Now what I'm going to do is I wanted to take this big stamp and I wanted to stamp the whole thing. So I'm going to use some Stampin' Blend, or not Stampin' Blend, just my Stampin' markers, Stampin' Write markers. And I'm going to use the same colors. So this was crushed curry. So I'm going to go ahead and color that in crushed curry. The other one was in Calypso Coral. So I'm going to color that in Calypso Coral. And then the stems and petals I'm going to do in Lost Lagoon, which is the color of the DSP that was my base. Make sure that I'm in the camera here. Okay, when you use markers like that, a couple of things, we talked about it last week. Make sure you're coloring on the side and not with your tip up, or you'll ruin your tips. And after you stamp, you just kind of want to huff on it a little bit to kind of like re-moisturize, I guess, the stamp. And I'm going to stamp that right here on the side. Make sure I'm doing it the right way. I am. Isn't that pretty? Oh, and then this is a birthday card, and I'm going to make this one a belated birthday card. And I'm going to use that greeting that says, I didn't forget your birthday. I'm stretching out the celebration. I just love that greeting. And we're just going to stamp that. I'm going to stand up so I can see that. Right down in the corner. So that's going to be the inside of our card. So we still have a place that we can write. If you wanted to, you could add something to the back as well if you wanted to. While I have my Lost Lagoon ink out, I have a little 1/2 inch strip of Pool Party that I am going to stamp the happy birthday for the outside. Okay, not too bad. And I am going to trim this a little bit. Okay, there is a die that cuts that, and I completely forgot about it. Oh, I just put my finger right in that Lost Lagoon. Good thing I had a wipe out here, right? And I don't know why I closed that because I am going to need it again. I'm going to close this. We're going to stamp that image, the leaves and stuff. I'm going to bring the Lost Lagoon in. And it's okay if I get it up there a little bit because I'm going to cover that up. And I'm just going to, let's see here. Kathy did hers so much better than mine. I'm sure she did this different than I'm doing it. Okay, it's okay that those colors are there because I'm going to fussy cut those out and put that over the top. The other thing I'm going to do is add the bottom part of this in Lost Lagoon. Okay, like that. Again, I'm going to cover that up, so it's okay that it's in Lost Lagoon. I am going to take these leaves. I looked really closely. I'm like, what does she have in there? And it was these leaves that are in that stamp set as well, in a little bit of petal pink. And I am going to stamp that off once and just kind of add some of those petals in there. Now this is going to be covered up, so I know it looks awful right now. We are going to fussy cut this and raise those up on there. So that's why it looks awful right now. Let's go ahead and start fussy cutting so that you can see how beautiful this is going to look. Okay, again, when I fussy cut, I leave a little bit of an edge around the outside, and I don't move my scissors at all. I move with my left hand. I'm gonna just cut this off and then get in there. So my left hand moves my paper and my scissors just closes shut. Okay, and I have to cut this off there. There we go. So this is gonna go over the top of that. So see why it was okay for me to have that like that? I knew what I was doing. Kathy probably cleaned the stamp really nice in between and was a good stamper. I was not. I kind of was a messy stamper here with this. This off. It's sometimes easier if you have a smaller piece of paper when you're fussy cutting, so you don't have as much that you're having to move. If anyone out there is looking for a teaching position, we've got a third grade teaching position. We've got a couple of part-time aides. We need a guidance counselor at one of our elementary campuses. So if you're looking, let us know. I promised our principal that I would spread the word. We're in such a weird market for teaching right now. So many people have gotten out of the profession, sadly. And so it's really hard to find teachers, especially ones that want to work in a Catholic school and not get paid probably as much as their counterparts in a public school. But I love where I work, so I would highly recommend it to anyone. Okay, and that's going to go there. See how pretty that is when you get it all done? All right, so now what I have to do is I need to cut out, because I do not see that circle that I cut. So let me run quickly. Maybe it's sitting here somewhere yet. I don't see it. But here's my proof that I did really cut two of them out. I just don't know where the second one went. So I have to quickly grab that circle. I'll run it through my die cut machine real quick, and I'll be right back to you. Let's see, here we go. It should have been in the envelope, so I'm not quite sure where I put it. So I do not see it out here anywhere. All right, there we go. So we're gonna pop this on here with some glue. I think my glue is almost to the end. And then we're going to take some dimensionals and pop some of those on here. And I need the minis because these are smaller. So Kathy, I really, really appreciate your inspiration because I was really struggling what to put on the front. And when I saw your card, I was like, that's it. Look at how pretty that is. Just absolutely gorgeous card. So I'm going to put that there. That is going to go there. And that goes there. Oh, and then that is going to, well, this is done now. I didn't mess it up, so I can actually put it on the inside of the card. And then this is going to go up on some dimensionals. I'll use the bigger ones for this. I used to be really skimpy with my dimensionals, and then I would feel some of the cards, and it's like, oh, it's like there's nothing in the middle there. So I always try to put something in the middle now. So that's going to go there. And then our happy birthday is going to go right over the top of that. And then we have some gems that have a bunch of really different colors. We've got the Calypso Coral. These kind of look a little bit like the Pool Party. They could be Coastal Cabana. Because they're ombre, it's probably a couple of different combinations of colors. I'm going to, for the sake of bringing in this color that was in the back and some of that in here, I decided to use that rather than, and I'm just going to pull these off with my fingers right now. I'm going to just put a couple of these around here. And let's see, we'll put one down there as well. Okay, so there is our happy birthday. And when we open it up, I didn't forget your birthday. I'm just stretching out the celebration. And of course, we need to Wink of Stella this. And when you do the Wink of Stella, it does spread your ink a little bit, so it almost looks like it's watercolored. So you do want to, when you do one color, you do want to like kind of brush it off a little bit. Now, unfortunately, you're probably not going to be able to see the difference from before I did the Wink of Stella to now because it's very subtle and the camera has a really hard time picking that up, but there is some shine and sparkle there. All right, and then I do have a piece of this designer paper that we can put on our flap. And you could really use any one of the colors, any one of these. I've thought about doing that one, and then I'm like, oh, I'll just do all of the colors with the coral and the crushed curry and the Lost Lagoon by doing the pattern, the floral pattern. Trim this up here. And there is our envelope to go with our fun fold. Right, and I did this one a little bit higher. I think I like it a little bit lower, which was in my sample. It's just a tad bit lower on the circle. This one's just up a little bit higher. Just depends on where you stamp that first stamp. So that is card number 3, our fun fold. I'll bring the other ones back in here again. So I love that color combination. Here was Kathy's beautiful card that she made that gave me the inspiration for that center part. All right, here was our card number 2. Fun, fun, fun. Lots and lots of colors. And then our first card was using that new die set. That was the Patchwork Pieces, I think is what it's called. Dies. Just fun, fun dies. All right, I'm going to turn my light back on here. And then I can come back to you. Oh, there I am. Thanks for sticking with me. Oh my gosh, it's almost 8 o'clock. Almost time to go to bed. No, not really. I've got a lot to do yet tonight. I always have a lot to do at night, it seems like. But thank you so much for joining me. Hello from North Dakota, or hello in North Dakota, Julie. Yeah, you'll have to catch the first part of it to see it. Um, Oh, Kathy, that's exactly what we did. Okay, cool. We think alike, I guess. When I was looking at it, I'm like, okay, how did she do this? I'm guessing this is how she did it. So, cool. So I will be gone next week. I will be back the week after, and then I will be off again the week after that because it'll be the 4th of July, the week after that. So, I'm going to have a couple weeks off there, but I will be back 1 week in between. And I think what I'm going to do is when I come back next week, I will do a creative challenge. So I'll come up with something that I can challenge you to with a chance to win a couple of prizes. And then as soon as Kathy and I get our stuff together and we figure out when we're going to do this little fun guest stamper at my house, um, we will let you know that. We will make sure that both of us advertise it on our Facebook pages, and we'll both put the link so that you're able to get to it and be able to see us in action together. Thanks, Mary. I really appreciate that, and thank you for sharing. Thank you for all of you who shared. I really enjoy my time together with you, and I look forward to stamping with you again. Um, Let's see. I don't think there's anything else. By the time I come back, that paper sale's almost going to be up as well as the uh, discount on or the extra product that you get for joining my team. So if you are interested in that or have any questions, make sure you reach out to me. I'm happy to answer any questions. But I think that's it. So have a wonderful week. I hope you can find some time to be creative. With this rain, it's kind of, if it keeps raining like this, it's a great reason to stay inside and stamp, right? I'm always looking for a reason to stay inside and stamp. Oh my goodness, we have someone here from Australia. Welcome, Denise. We're happy to have you. So that is it. I will try to get the dimensions up as quickly as possible onto my blog. I will post that on my Facebook page when I have it. You could also follow my blog if you wanted to, and that way when I do make an update to it, you will get an email that says that the dimensions are there. So, and the dimensions are really in the blog. There's a link there that takes you to the document that has them. And then there are pictures with the document as well as the colors that I used in the dimensions. So I think that's it. I am going to see what the Brewers are doing. Hopefully, oh my gosh, 3 losses, 4 losses in a row. It's time for us to win. So hopefully they can win tonight. So, all right, I'm going to sign off. You guys have a wonderful rest of the week. I will see you 2 weeks from tonight at 6:30 p.m. right here on this channel. Thanks a lot for joining me. Bye bye.